Walpole, Massachusetts. What's it like to live there? What does it have to offer? Why do people like living there so much? These questions and more I'll answer in this video about pros and cons of living in one of Greater Boston's best suburbs, Walpole, Massachusetts. Let's go. Alright, thanks for coming to the channel here, living in Greater Boston. So let's jump right into it. Pro number one for Walpole. It's not densely populated. No, it's on the larger side of Greater Boston area towns and cities. Town, city, whatever. No, it's almost 20 square miles, and within those 20 square miles, it's only got 25,000 people. So it's kind of nice. I mean, for comparison's sake, you got Newton, which is a little closer to Boston, very popular and desirable suburb in Greater Boston area, and it's pretty much the same size, but it's got over triple the people. Newton's got 88,000 and counting, still going. So Walpole's a very different vibe. There's only like 5 main roads in Walpole too. 1A, which is literally like where everything is in the town. Part of Route 1. I don't even know if you could count Route 1 as part of, because it goes along the border where Sharon is and whatnot. So it's like it's in Walpole, it's out of Walpole, it's in Walpole, it's out of Walpole. So, but because it's Route 1, we'll mention it because there's a lot of stuff on Route 1. There's also Common Street, Route 27, and Washington Street is a popular road that goes parallel to Route 1 and 1A. So if you want to avoid like the traffic on 1A or 1, and you don't have to be on those roads, you can usually cut over to Washington Street and hit a few less traffic lights and a bit less traffic most of the time. Don't quote me on that. Sometimes not. But yeah, I mean, so for a town of 25,000, it's hard to get congested. Not that it doesn't, because it does. Along 27 and especially 1A. My God, 1A is like all day from 7:30, 8 a.m. till about 7 p.m. It's pretty heavily trafficked. It's a one-lane road, single-lane road, so it's those roads are. It doesn't take a lot to get them congested, obviously. So only about half of Walpole is developed, which is also nice. I mean, I'm not saying that the other half is undeveloped area that they're really pushing to develop. We've had some small, newer developments be built over the past few years, but the town's not really pushing too hard to make it into like this kind of like urban setting. I think they're spread out, nice, aesthetically looking, not overpopulated suburbia vibe going on. So, and only about half the neighborhoods are like densely packed, I'd say, and the other half of the neighborhoods are these there's definitely more elbow room. You got some of them are like the $1 million plus homes kind of thing, but not all of them. Some of them are just bigger plots of land, and so you don't get that congested feel where you're in your backyard and you can look to your left and right and see into your neighbor's yard. Not all the neighborhoods are like that, which is kind of nice. I mean, don't get me wrong, the densely packed neighborhoods those can be nice too, even though you can see in your neighbor's yard and the privacy is not there as much, but that's just the reality of a lot of areas in the Greater Boston area. That'll bring us to con number one. I'll go pro, con, pro, con. Con number one, cost of living. Yeah, you probably could have guessed that one, because that's probably going to be on the con list for every town and city in the Greater Boston area, right? It's the MO of the area, but gotta include it, gotta talk about it, because it is important, because it's a big factor when people move. And so the first part I'll mention is the tax rate. It's $13.89 per thousand of assessed value.
You gotta be kidding me.
What does that mean? Well, if you haven't been a homeowner yet, most towns do it every 2, 3, 4 years. Some have done it a little bit sooner just because of the way home prices shot up in recent years, but the town will assess your property. and more often, most of the time, it's assessed for below what's been purchased for, and which is nice because you pay less taxes. So they set a rate, and then per thousand of assessed value is what your tax rate is. And most people have their taxes looped into their monthly payment when they buy their houses and whatnot. But there are people that buy their houses cash only, so then there's no financing, so you have to pay your taxes every year. $1,389, the assessed value for like a $600,000 house is going to be $9,000 a year. So that's no, not cheap. It's more taxes than I pay where I live. And again, I don't live in Walpole. And then to house prices, it's a very competitive market. No, it's desirable. And so 2-bedroom houses can be had. In the past 6 months, the average price for a 2-bedroom house is below $500,000, and condos are as well. So they're in the 400 range. But then when you bump up to 3 bedrooms, now you're at almost just over $600,000 for a house, and the condos are in the mid fives. And then when you get up to 4 bedrooms or 4 or more bedrooms, that's, I mean, as you can expect, the houses average just under 900,000, and the condos are in the 700s. So it's an expensive town compared to, I mean, it's not as expensive as other towns inside the 95 belt like Newton and the such. But I know I reference Newton a lot because I think of Walpole as like of less populated. Well, it is less populated than Newton, because they're both pretty much the same size. They both have kind of similar offerings and whatnot. The cost of living, it's not cheap to get into Walpole, but it can be done if you're depending on your budget. And what I just mentioned, for the past 6 months, the average, I mean, this is dated today, we're in April 2024, so real estate's a fluid market, so things can always change. But these prices are higher than they were last year. I can tell you that much. And last year there were plenty of houses with multiple offers, some 1.1 million cash only buyers. They're out there and they like Walpole. That'll bring us to pro number 2, location. Walpole does have, I think, a pretty good location. You're equidistant between Boston and Providence, so you're under an hour, or maybe about an hour, like 45 minutes to an hour to each one, depending on traffic and time of day you're traveling. And then if you want to go out to Worcester, it'll take you pretty much an hour right on the dot. There's no direct route. You kind of have to zigzag a little bit, whether you go down to 495 or you go up to the Pike or Route 9 and go over. I mean, whichever way you want to go. There's other ways too. You can zigzag through Sherborne and whatnot, so up 27. But and then if you want to go down to the Cape, it's only an hour to the Bourne Bridge. So, and then after, about 20 minutes after the Bourne Bridge, you can hit Hyannis or the coast down in I forget the name of that town. Bottom of Falmouth. But regardless, and Walpole is pretty much the heart of suburbia, right? I mean, if you look out on the map, you got 95 that goes right through it. 27 if you want to go up like northwest area, and you can easily get to 495. And it's you got green spaces around. There's a lot of stuff within driving distance and like that under an hour range. And if you want to take the train into Boston or train down to Providence, it's only 40 minutes. So similar to driving, but you don't have to drive. You can just kick back and have a margarita.
What did you just say?
Oh, no, who drinks margaritas on the train? Being next to Foxborough and Gillette Stadium is also a big perk for location because, say you're a big Pats fan and you got season tickets. Well, it's a heck of a lot easier to go to the games and commit to going to games every game if you're only commuting to Walpole, as opposed to, commuting up to, say, someone who lives around Boston, or even out towards on the coast over near Cohasset or whatever, or even down in Providence, or even in Connecticut. I mean, if you're in Walpole, you're right next to the stadium. You get the concerts during the summer, Monster Jam, in addition to everything else Patriot Place is going on. So it's a good location. If you're finding this content useful, leave me a comment, like, subscribe. Let me know if I'm doing all right. Let me know if there's something I missed that you think should be added to the pros or cons list. But liking and subscribing, it shows me that you find this useful, that you like the content, and it motivates me to bring more content like this about other neighboring towns and communities in the greater Boston area. So, because all I'm trying to do is just help share the knowledge I have of the area, and to help you make the best decision for you in your move to the greater Boston area or within the greater Boston area, depending on where you're coming from. On to con number 2 now. Again, these are my opinions. These are not factual or anything like that, but my con number 2 is the convenience factor, kind of. So where I live, if you want to go to the grocery store or you want to get a pizza or anything like that, there are stores, on the main drags, if you will, but you can also go like a smaller shop or like a convenience store or pizza place around the corner, instead of going to maybe the one you like a little bit better that's on the other side of town, and you don't want to battle the traffic and the main roads and whatnot. You just want something, go get something quick, boom, boom. And Walpole, that's not really a luxury. Unless you live on like Washington Street and East Walpole area, or you're really close to 1A, because literally almost everything is on 1A. All your dining, all your retail and such. So if you live in like South Walpole, you want something quick, you're better off going across the border into like Foxborough than you are going up to 1A and getting it within Walpole. It's just not convenient. I mean, you have to plan your day. You want to go to the grocery store, you're going to 1A. You need you broke your hammer, or you need some special tool from the hardware store, you're going to Route 1A. You want your McDonald's French fry fix, you're going to 1A or Route 1. But there's it's in 1A, because of that 1A gets congested because everyone needs to go there, because that's where everyone needs to go get stuff. So for me, that's an annoyance. I don't like it. Maybe I'm been too privileged, I guess, to live.
You're a spoiled little brat, even.
In places where, there's a pizza place, and I can just go. That sometimes you could even walk to, but you could a short drive, like 5-minute drive, 10 minutes at most, to get to a pizza place or some other kind of takeout place, or even if you just need to go get some like ran out of eggs, or you need ran out of vanilla because you're baking something, you gotta go get it, instead of going all the way to the grocery store that's 10 plus minutes away, because it adds up. 10 plus 15 minutes, go get the pizza, you have to wait maybe 5 minutes, and then 15 minutes back. I mean that's like 40 minutes, and you haven't even gotten to eat a slice of pizza yet. So for me, I like having a place closer. Pizza. It's more about than just pizza, but convenience factor, I feel, is a big con of Walpole. So pro number 3, attractions, stuff to do. And I know what you're thinking, everyone that makes a video or writes a blog article or anything about a town always says attractions is plenty to do for everybody, has something for everybody. Walpole, for a town of 25,000 people, I mean, it's not Boston, but for a town of 25,000 people, they got a lot going on and a lot of varied interests. So many that I actually had to write some of them down, because I mean, even in my hometown where I live now, I don't know everything there is to know about everything to do. I mean, nobody knows everything about everything there is to do in a town. You don't even know that about the town you're living right now. So I had to write them down to make sure I don't leave anything out. This isn't even a full list, but just wanted to highlight the things. Besides the green spaces like Bird Park and Wilson Farm, there's other green spaces too, but those are kind of like the 2 premier ones. Bird Park, I think it's around like 80 or 90 square miles ish. It's really big and nice. A lot of people go there, walk their dogs. You're supposed to keep them on their leash. A couple people don't put them on the leash. Put your dogs on a leash. But yeah, kids go there, flying kites. People go there, read books, hang out. They have some summer camps there too. On one side of the park, they have a couple tennis courts, a couple basketball courts. They have a playground, which is pretty nice. Not too old, not too new. Not that there's anything wrong with a new playground, but not too old playground. And they even have, so something you don't see all the time with playgrounds is like toys. I've seen it. I have a 3-year-old, so I've gone to a lot of playgrounds in the past 3 years, and very few of them will have like a 3-wheeler kind of, a couple 3-wheelers or a Fisher Price car kind of thing, like the ones you would buy for your house, but they have them at the playground just for kids to enjoy in addition to the playground. And the playground at Bird Park has a lot of stuff for kids to play with. I mean, I don't know how dirty it is or clean it is. Might need to brush off the dirt and whatnot, but no, it's a nice convenience. I mean, find that in another town, because I know other towns that do it. Otherwise, most of them don't. In addition to those, there's other green spaces to enjoy too, smaller ones. Well, Wilson Farm, I forgot to talk about that one. That one's huge. That one's like 400 plus square miles. So part of it's owned by the town, part of it's owned privately. And I guess, I don't know the whole story, but somehow they kind of just all joined into an agreement that, hey, we're gonna offer this huge chunk of land to everybody to enjoy. And they, also all year round, they got events going on, mountain biking, snowshoeing, obviously walking and hiking and going for a run in there. But they have like events, like actual like real events going on for kids and adults to enjoy. I encourage you to, they have a membership thing. I think it's like $20. I encourage you to buy the membership. It's only $20. Throw it to them. It helps them support the area and bring events and whatnot. It's just $20, and you don't really get anything for it. They send you a newsletter that keeps you up to date about things happening. That's it. You don't really get anything else for your $20 membership. So it's more just like a donation, really, to a charity or fundraiser. But yeah, some other things. Footlighters right near Bird Park. They have some plays going on. Locals, you can try out and test out your acting skills. They even have a kids version. It's not at Footlighters. It's at a different location in Walpole. But the Walpole Country Club, if you're a golfer, it's a private country club. They've hosted some big national tournaments over the years. Blackburn Hall, just outside the town square, and where a lot of events take place in town square. But Blackburn Hall, they have events for kids and stuff, after school programs. If something is supposed to be taking place outdoors but it ends up raining, they'll usually move it to Blackburn Hall. So holiday events in Walpole's downtown, the common area. So like Halloween on Main, my wife and my daughter and I went there one time. It was nice. They kind of shut down the whole thing, and you can walk through the roads, and no vendors or businesses will have tables and give out candy and stuff. And nice little celebration. They do the night before the 4th celebration too. Porch Fest, they'll do concerts there. A couple of places in the city, a couple homes in the city or town will have people playing music for Porch Fest. But most of the performances are at the Common in the downtown area. What else? There's a sportsman's club if you're into, like the gun ownership and such. There's another one right across the border in Westwood too. So there's really 2 in the nearby area, but there is one in Walpole. There's also a bunch of athletic fields that have been updated recently, especially in South Walpole. This massive one that was built and renovated a couple of years ago. They just redid the playground right across the street from the library, where there's a little swimming pool for the summer months too, which is nice. There's an ice rink too to enjoy. The oldest German-American club, it's a name that I would probably mispronounce, so I'm just going to say it's the oldest German-American club. It's in northern Walpole towards the Westwood border. They throw a pretty kick-ass Oktoberfest and a couple other events through the year. You can have fun in Walpole. So con number 3 is like the nightlife scene, a restaurant scene. So there are restaurants, obviously, most of them along Route 1, and some of them are okay. We have a couple regional chains like Conrad's, Raven's Nest / Tessie's. They're the same owner. They're right next to each other. They used to have them in Waltham. When I lived in Waltham, I went to Raven's Nest a bunch. But there's a Tessie's downtown in Boston too. Napper Tandy's. I like Napper Tandy's. They always have good food. Beer is decent, and they have this really long bar. It's kind of like a dive bar-ish kind of feel, but it's not dirty, or not too dirty, I guess. But I've been to both the one in Walpole, and then they have another one in Norwood. And one time we got dessert there, just for fun, after we had some beer and some dinner, and the dessert was pretty damn good. So Napper Tandy's, you can get a decent meal there and hang out, but outside of those, you got some pizza places, some other takeout places, Chinese and whatnot, but there are no breweries, there's no wineries, there's no like a lively bar scene. Maybe Tessie's, but not really. So there's no nightlife. So if you want to be able to live somewhere where you can just go down the road and have a beer, yeah, you can go to one of these places and have a beer. But if you're looking for like a more lively scene, then probably head up to maybe like Dedham, or even over to the Patriot Place in Foxborough, because they're lacking here. Even just to go the other day, I was like, oh, let me just go grab a quick salad somewhere, and there's nowhere to even grab a quick salad. They have a great lunch spot, Farmer in the Dell, which I like. Big thumbs up to them. I'm not a big fan of their salads though, but their sandwiches pretty rock solid. So definitely, when I'm in the need for a sandwich, then I usually go there. So, but other than that, it's just, it's what you would think a town of 25,000 people would supply, as opposed to a larger town with more people and it would have more offerings. So, yeah. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Is there something I should have added? Do you not like what I put in my list? You think something else should have been in there? Or you have more detailed question to build upon what I said or listed? Let me know. I'll get back to you. We'll have a little conversation. So, but that'll do it for these pros and cons. I've helped people move from within state, from out of state, from out of the country. Feel free to reach out. Call, text, email, Snapchat. I do them all. I don't do TikTok. Haven't gotten into that yet. But reach out. I'm happy to make your move as easy and painless as possible. So after you're doing all your research, go ahead, watch some of my other videos, and I'll talk to you soon.